alien, but it's almost like the rock's bleeding.
On no planet or moon does that look like blood. Also, opening Pandora's box cliché. Also, how did this symbiote even get buried on the moon? If it needs to bond with a host, then why aren't there any remains of moon creatures lying around the crater? Which leads to an even bigger question. If the symbiote needs to bond with a host to survive, how is this symbiote still alive with no host around for who knows how long? Gaping plot holes that happen sometimes when a comic book storyline is not adapted to the letter. Ironic because the Secret Wars crossover the symbiote debuted in was later adapted in this series.
What is that stuff?
This symbiote knows if these two crash it probably won't survive either, right?
Shuttle's trajectory is taking it this way. Fort Lee at the westernmost, Forest Hills at the easternmost. My estimate is that it'll hit the George Washington Bridge.
The shuttle was supposed to land at Kennedy Airport, which is 5 miles from Forest Hills. I'm no astrophysicist, but I don't think a disrupted space trajectory would leave the shuttle landing so close to its original target. Its new landing spot I think would be closer to Siberia. Eddie Brock survives this. The shuttle crew survives this. The shuttle survives this. Hell, the bridge even survives this somehow. Spidey's sense somehow doesn't warn him of the oncoming giant-ass man rhino inches in front of him.
Comment. We'll finish this some other time.
Could have squashed him there without even trying.
John, talk to me. Black, like tar. The bridge. Spider-Man.
Misunderstood mumbling cliché.
I saw Spider-Man stealing something from the shuttle, and I got the pictures to prove it right here.
So he was here.
Just give me my old job back, JJ, and these pictures are yours.
I'll take him, Brock. I finally got that wall-crawling sack of garbage.
Your son almost died. How do you still have time for this shit?
More on your son and his
Are they
co-pilot.
still on the critical
What about
list?
Spider-Man? Are you sure?
Spider-Man did it. I'm sure of it. So sure that I'm offering $1 million to anyone who brings him in. $1 million.
You're not blaming Spider-Man for crashing the shuttle, are you? You couldn't be that stupid. Spidey's sense doesn't warn him of this, and no, it should, since the symbiote hasn't bonded with his DNA or whatever yet.
Ah! What a nightmare!
Very creative foreshadowing displayed in this dream sequence.
It's amazing. This suit is augmenting every one of my spider powers. I wonder how strong I am now.
Not sure power test is appropriate in the middle of Times Square.
Be nice if you were a little less conspicuous. You're definitely my kind of suit.
Hey, Sarge!
He went that way.
I can almost taste that $1 million.
These cops are straight out of Police Academy. Probably Police Academy 4.
Yahoo!
Yahoo.
Look who suddenly developed a backbone. I've developed a lot more than a backbone.
Parker!
You know something, Peter? You are different, and you scare me.
Felicia prefers guys who are calm and gentle, like Flash Thompson.
Won't let doubt there's new threats. They ain't gonna look new for long.
Rhino must dampen Spidey's sense as well.
You can't do this.
I just rewrote the rules. And I'm just getting warmed up.
How was this supposed to cause Rhino any pain? What's next, tying him to a carousel?
Alright, I give up. I'd rather go to jail than to be a snitch.
Who said anything about jail?
Huh? I don't get it.
You will.
As far-right a departure as this is from Parker's usual persona, I like this scene. It's the best example of the symbiote's corrupting influence, before they go overboard later in this episode.
How can I demonstrate to your buyers the power of Promethium X if I don't have the specially enhanced control rods?
Parker has more sophisticated scientific equipment and Kingpin-connected Smythe.
My turn.
Should I try the Sonic Blaster?
We've tried everything else.
The suit! What's happening? getting weak. Everything's going dark.
A reminder that fire will never factor in this episode as the symbiote's other weakness.
My suit has cruise control, but your suits... Your suits have battery packs that blow up if they get wet.
How does he know that?
Promethium X is the most powerful fissionable element ever discovered. Less than a microgram should give us proof of its power.
Shouldn't we be wearing protective gear?
A Promethium X doesn't radiate until it's heated. That's the beauty of it. The most powerful fissionable material in the universe, and you could carry it around in your pocket. Now all we need to do is increase the temperature and ignite it.
He could have just used TNT to simulate that explosion.
A single host organism, like this one from a nitrogen-based environment. Now I'll add a molecule chain from that suit of yours.
They're bonding.
It's replicating and mutating the molecular structure of its own DNA. It's actually improving on the host organism. But not only does the suit bond, in time it replaces.
Unless the host's name is Eddie Brock. Brock put in contact lenses for some reason.
I can't have someone who works for me coloring the truth and leaving out facts. It's against everything I stand.
Get rid of you. It's gonna be a blast. Rest in pieces, wall crawler.
Premature gloating villain cliche.
What's the matter with you two?
What happened? Spider-Man took the Promethium X.
Then you will have to get it back, even if you must take the whole city hostage.
Special spider recycling sin penalty being employed now.
More messes, Jameson.
I knew if I tailed you long enough, something would turn up. Bet you're plotting against me with Spider-Man.
Brock is also a graduate of Ventriloquist Academy.
If you think that's a surprise, then you're in for a real shock.
Why stop there? How about time for some shock treatment? Or I'm gonna put a shock to your system? Or you're listening to WTKO and I'll be your shock jock for the evening.
Come on! Let's get this over with. Get back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
Symbiote ruthlessness is now reduced to spider-roid rage. To be honest, why is the symbiote evil anyway? Or is it only this particular symbiote that it's evil? Like the David Berkowitz of the symbiote race. I don't think there's anything by the symbiote's nature that it gains from encouraging aggression in its host. Unfortunately, those details are never explored in this series, and sadly this will be the first of only 2 Venom appearances in this series. So yeah, Spider-Man archenemy Venom gets 2 and not quite Spider-Man archenemy Kingpin gets about 50. Because that's what Spider fans came to see. Coincidental literal storm of ruin.
Spider-Man.
Random Daily Bugle paper was printed in Gibberese.
Is your learning curve a flat line or what?
His might be. Mine isn't.
Spidey had several seconds after his sense went off to dodge that.
Problem is, Eddie Brock isn't the same guy he once was. Why don't we introduce you to our better half? We call ourselves Venom.
Venom can't really make up his or its mind whether it's Brock wielding the symbiote using Brock, or in fact a merger of the 2 beings.
We're now part of a life force that has existed since the dawn of time. Imagine what you've turned down, Parker. Think of all this knowledge. We've seen thousands of worlds, millions of civilizations, learned many secrets, always with but one goal above all else: to survive. And now we're sharing those secrets with Eddie Brock.
What fascinating info about the symbiote race that has and will never be relevant or mentioned again in this series.
Brock! Surprise!
They never triggered my spider sense.
Not sure why this is the case. Although, since we're on the subject of sense, it's never quite portrayed in this series, but does Venom have a spider sense of his own? Or Venom sense? It would be unusual if he didn't, considering he clearly possesses all of Parker's other abilities. This moment of terror is in fact a moment of high comedy.
Brock, the more you hate me, the more the symbiote can control you.
Who said we hate you? Fact is, we're your biggest fan!
Ha ha ha.
Quite a crowd! Perfect time for an unveiling!
No!
Check it out, dude. His mask is off.
I'm Spider-Man!
Who the hell is this idiot? Giant spotlights just can't seem to shine on Parker's face coincidentally.
This'll have to do, until I get my spare mask at home.
Yeah, I don't know how that's supposed to conceal his face.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay, Peter. I ran into someone who says he's a friend of yours.
Don't you just love the theater?
Brock also gained the Flash's power because there's no way he could have gotten here that much faster than Parker.
Eddie Brock, ma'am, an old dear friend of Peter's, and you must be Aunt May. Heard so much about you.
Eddie and I have to have a little talk, Aunt May.
Be seeing you, ma'am.
What a nice man. So polite.
How naive can this old broad be?
She won't see you again.
How can you stop us?
Stella! Now about the symbiote's weakness to loud noises. I feel the portrayal of this has been rather questionable in this episode. The main question being, how loud does the noise have to be to hurt the symbiote? The symbiote has been hurt by a sonic weapon, church bells, and now a rocket launch. However, the symbiote has been in the vicinity of New York traffic, a subway, a semi-truck, and a semi-truck horn. In fact, Shocker's blasts can be considered a form of sonic attack as well, but they barely affected symbiote Parker. By decibel level, the rocket launch is the loudest noise, but these other settings should be noisy, and therefore harmful enough to the symbiote as well. Furthermore, especially in regards to the rocket launch, the noise weakness is like the fire weakness. It's really a weakness that humans generally possess too. This rocket launch noise should have at least caused Parker to reflexively place his hands around his ears if not recoil in pain himself, and yet he is seemingly oblivious to the loud noise. What, did he put earplugs on before he lured Venom to the launch site? Why doesn't Parker throw the symbiote into the engine path instead of attaching it to the rocket? It's best to try to destroy it rather than send it away. For all he knows, it could just fall off when the webbing dissolves and return to Brock, which it eventually does anyway. There's no way Parker did this because of some refusal to kill code. He already assumed the symbiote was dead at the cathedral. If his plan succeeded, the symbiote could eventually bond with some cosmic surfing alien and come back to axe Parker even more swiftly than before.
Looking up at the sky on a night like this, it's easy to believe that we're not alone. I wonder what's out there.
That's exactly what I was wondering too.
Not quite as funny as the bodybuilding ad, but still the opposite of terrifying.